Many of you have been asking, how is it that we started a fish farm in rural Uganda? So we thought we'd take you along with us on our journey. These photos are from June of 2024. We were in the village, looking at the beautiful serenity around us and realizing that there was so much promise and opportunity here. We knew that we wanted to move back to rural Uganda, and we wanted to make sure that our move would not only sustain us, but would also be able to be a blessing to those around us. It was then in those moments that we realized water is here. Fish could be too. We were in the village just for the summer. We'd come from the US for a quick trip to visit family and friends and enjoy some time in rural Uganda. It was then that we realized our kids loved it here, and so did we. We really didn't want to leave. David had been hearing about fish farms popping up around Uganda for a few years now. He was very curious and realized that the land that we had access to in the village might be perfect to have our own fish farm. So it was in those moments that that dream came alive in David's heart. Fast forward to January, when David returned to Uganda to make this dream become a reality. In February, David hired an excavator and crew to come and start digging the ponds. Good news, we found water. We knew it was there, but it certainly was reassuring as we were digging through the rock to finally see those sprouts of water. David and the crew he assembled measured out the land and determined where they wanted to place each of the ponds. They ultimately decided that 30 ponds was the right number. Over the course of the next 8 days, about 30 ponds were dug by the excavator crew. In case you were wondering, it took about 120 liters of gas every day to power the excavator. They used the first pond that they dug as the supplier pond to feed water into the other ponds. They contracted a plumber to come and install pipes so that way water could flow easily between each of the ponds, making sure that there was always a constant source of fresh water in each of the 30 ponds. They added a second source pond to the mix, and those 2 ponds were able to fill all 30 of ponds to an adequate water level within 7 days of the plumbing being completed. We were really blessed with the water sources. They wanted to wait 2 weeks after the ponds filled before putting fish in the ponds. In that 2-week period, they were very busy. They added fertilizer to each of the ponds. They also put up a fence and fence posts to make sure that they were keeping out animals and ducks and birds and things like that that could end up being predators to the fish. During that time, they also built a simple 3-room office. The office stores the fish feeds and other various items that needed to operate the fish farm. At the end of the 2-week time period, it was time to put the fish in the water. These are tiny tilapia fingerlings. We quickly learned that we needed to net the ponds to keep the baby fish free from the ducks and the birds who were wanting to snack on them. Fast forward to now, we're 6 months in to this new fish farm adventure. We started in February with digging the ponds, as you saw earlier in this video. And now here we are, August, awaiting the harvest of our first tilapia and catfish. It's still a few months away, but just the anticipation is so exciting. We've learned so much throughout this journey. Each day, we learn a little bit more. We've learned who has the best fingerlings to purchase, where we like to buy our fish food from, what feeding schedules look like, and so much more. But most importantly, we've learned to trust our guts. We've learned to trust that innermost voice inside our heads telling us, you know what? This dream can come true. We now have approximately 128,000 fish, both tilapia and catfish, at various ages of growth. This dream that David had is becoming a reality. And it's so humbling to watch him walk the space that he once dreamed of and realize that dreams really can come true. Thanks for following along with this journey of